Kehedon na whole nation do is akatelia. Reading test bigito, math test bigito. Schneidig ist national genau text. تخرج انا كذي شنان شخدون ابي كديشتي اكو math don't read it don't read it the language بيجيو اكو ايه نهي تستو لي نو ايه نهي ايه حتى اليوم أتذكر حتى اليوم وين رأت الصنعة؟ إيه هو أنا يوبا هالشدة شوية أو تسو بتوه ميجي إيه يوبا هالشدة ليه سنتلي بس ده هيك إيه بنعمل نسأل ليه combination بيجي ليه بنعمل so إيه بتأمل اليوم فإلا دو ليه لا بإلا ليه إلا زليهم جندو ليه إيه دو ليه شو ده بوهم خاطر so إيه ده أول جي accountability workbook questions اي شيء باش نحكيلو شو قلت اني تفضل النبش لهون اي اسف اني تفضل النبش بيت عزل شو قلت لك انا خد ايش خدو اي the note هي the note هي شو قلت اي the note هي ايش كان اولزن the note هي خاله ان ليله كوكانيز نانانيس تاو نا دينانيس تاو كوي آتانانيس تاو ليله كويس كاوي خيلي بشي اي تست دوغي ادو ان ليله ايدو سو اي بينانش
The next slides are going to show how we try to do that. So we wanted to make sure that you understood how we thought about curriculum, because it's the central feature. Without a better curriculum, we can have all the HR plans we want. So we have questions then about how we did our study, then we'll talk about what's in the study. Yes. Wait till the end. The state of New Mexico has adopted the Common Core. Yes. And the BIE right now, defaults to a state for the testing and curriculum and training of teachers. Which is why we said we wanted to start explaining to you how we understood the uniqueness of 3 states, then in the middle of change in 3 states. So it isn't just 3-state strategies. Strategies are changing, and each state's change is different.
So as we move along through the transition, the Navajo Nation will become the state in the South, correct?
That will be decided by the tribes, conversations. As we'll show you a little later, there'll have to be a conversation with each state, because if you become your own state, you will then have to have agreements, just like New Mexico has with Arizona. So on. That's why we wanted to break out the steps of the study. Before any discussion of how do you teach anything, we had to figure out anything that is taught will go through these filters. And the third one is the tribe wants to make sure in that language and culture, central, not peripheral, to whatever the conversation is about learning. Does that help with? And then of course 2015, the spring, was the first round of testing for Common Core. As So if Utah will not do it, and Arizona is going to do its own, and in fact, they're writing their own tests right now, that's going to be a challenge for any teacher in any school of teenage children, whether we were doing this or not. That's there. How does that then get folded in to this approach? Maybe what you're seeing is it's pointing toward the tribe must step up and unify learning those children. Otherwise, it's fragmenting further. Is that what you're suggesting? Whether we were here today or not? Make sense? And so we wanted to put that on the table up front. Then we will turn to, so what ought to happen in science and math and reading, kindergarten, 5th grade, 12th grade, all that kind of stuff. This exists beyond what we're studying, but we learned it, and it affected our thinking. Excellent question. Excellent point about how these things would take forever if you let them, because they have. Any other thoughts and any other questions about how we thought about our work before we set out to do it? So. So, we have a lot of things in that 124-page study. Here's what Matzo and the design team, we have suggested should be the next step. And that is, we want to create new curriculum writing teams. Now, if they will use all the Common Core disciplines, maybe in each state, it'll have to be negotiated. Well, if there's no Common Core, and you have study done on Common Core, but we need new curriculum writing teams, and who will be on those teams? We want to use faculty from the buildings, so you have charts in front of you of schools that have met AYP. In fact, it's all the BIE schools nationwide, so you can compare. So how does Knoxville compare to others? We want to find those that have made their AYPs, their annual, their annual yearly, their adequate yearly progress, not annual, adequate yearly progress in reading and STEM. And of course, that is to be coordinated with, there's a BIA curriculum framework team working now on obligation among BIE schools, right, curriculum K-12. We want to work with the public school faculty who work with Dine and who excel in the standards. There's a reason for that. The accountability workbook in 2011 said 45% of all children in BIE buildings in a given year may transfer in or out one way or another into BIE from state or from state to BIE or building to building. There's a very high transfer rate of children. So what do we do about that? That would exist if we did no study. That's out there too, just like the difference in the curriculum. So the children's mobility. Right? And the fourth thing we wanted to do, recommend for the design phase, we want to find those districts and those BIE buildings that are successful with the integration of Dine language and culture throughout the K-12 curriculum, not just the standalone, not just the Head Start program, but everything that the district does. There are districts out there with people who are ready to work and put those kind of people on these design curriculum teams as well. So the faculty from the successful buildings, the partnerships with the public schools, and then those who do language and culture across disciplines. Are there any questions now about that step? It's just a step is to be taken in the planning of this unifying of the curriculum. So that's why the design phase will be bringing people back to Crown Point and other communities to see. So that's our strategy for curriculum. How do we move it into the next phase? We don't have the curriculum finished. The gentleman says, well, what will we teach in science and math if you are a teacher? That is to be determined. So are there any other concerns or thoughts you would like to offer us about how we did our jobs? And then we'll talk about there is a curriculum in place, and if there is no study and there is no change, that's the curriculum that stays. So the question here is, as the change to the single grant approach unfolds, that could be one of the points on the table. There's nothing wrong with the curriculum, leave it alone. The second is, should we make it a tribe-driven curriculum, tribal defined? Because right now it's a default to the state where a building sits. And so that's why it's got to be sort of brought together for people to decide what do they want that to look like. And then bring the disciplines together and the successful people together. That's why we don't say the curriculum is already bundled and it's ready to be put out. And so, but that's why the next phase has to reconcile